Yandy! Hi, Yandy.
This is my husband.
Yo, don't touch me. Tell your husband don't touch me.
Wait, let me. I know this, baby. No, baby. I know this is about the kid.
Don't touch me.
No, I knew
Don't touch me.
I knew this is about the kid.
Don't touch me, nigga.
Fuck you talking to my husband like that? What are you doing? Don't talk to my husband like that.
Give me a hug.
The focus has always been on MC Harris and Yandy Smith Harris, a couple whose love story captured the hearts of millions across the nation. However, their seemingly flawless relationship has recently been shaken by shocking accusations, leaving fans in utter disbelief. What began as a minor misunderstanding has rapidly escalated into a public confrontation that is threatening to tear their family apart. At the heart of it all lies one devastating act of betrayal. What has been unfolding behind closed doors is unimaginable. Mendeecees, once considered the epitome of loyalty, is now accused of attacking Yandy in a way no one could have foreseen. Sources close to the couple reveal that this situation is much more than a simple argument. It's a full-scale emotional eruption. The fallout is as chaotic as it is dramatic, with long-hidden secrets emerging, and what once seemed like an unbreakable bond now teetering on the edge of destruction. Can Yandy trust anyone now? Is their marriage truly over? Or is there still a chance for reconciliation? The burning question is what pushed Mendeecees to lash out so violently. Fans are on the edge of their seats, eagerly awaiting answers as the drama unfolds. Stay tuned as we uncover the shocking truth behind the betrayal that could change everything. It all started on an ordinary evening, or so it seemed. Yandy and Mendeecees were hosting an intimate dinner with close friends and family. What was supposed to be a quiet celebration of Yandy's recent career milestone, a new business venture that had fans talking, quickly turned into something far darker. As the evening progressed, emotions ran high, and long-buried frustrations began to surface. The dinner was meant to honor Yandy's success, with everyone toasting to her achievements. Yet beneath the surface, tension was palpable. Mendeecees, usually her pillar of support, appeared distracted and distant, his gaze often fixed on his phone instead of on Yandy. "Are you okay?" Yandy asked, concern evident in her voice. Mendeecees didn't look up. "I'm fine," he muttered, but anyone who knew him could tell something was wrong. The playful banter that had once filled their home was missing, and instead, there was an air of unease that neither of them could shake. It didn't take long before the situation took a turn for the worse. Without warning, Mendeecees slammed his glass onto the table with such force that it stopped everyone in their tracks. Yandy's face fell, and the room fell into an uncomfortable silence. "What's going on?" Yandy asked, her voice laced with fear. "I'm tired," Mendeecees yelled, his voice shaking with frustration. "Tired of pretending everything's perfect when you've been running the show as if it's all about you. You think it's all about your business, your success. What about me? What about what I've been going through? What about the lies?" Yandy's smile quickly faded, replaced by confusion and hurt. Her heart raced as the sting of his words hit her like a punch. "What are you talking about?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Mendeecees' eyes blazed with fury, and his voice dropped to a low growl. "You think I don't know what's been happening behind my back? You think I haven't heard the whispers, seen the messages?" Yandy froze, her breath catching in her throat. She had no clue what he was referring to. "You're not making sense. What whispers? What messages?" But Mendeecees wasn't finished. He stood up abruptly, knocking his chair over as he stormed toward the door. "You think I'm blind? You think I haven't seen what's been going on with you and your so-called friends? I've been carrying this doubt, this pain for months now, but you're too busy to notice me." Yandy stood speechless, her mind racing. She knew they'd had their disagreements over the years, but this was something far worse. "What are you talking about? You're out of your mind." Mendeecees turned to face her, his expression twisted with a mix of anger and heartbreak. "Out of my mind? You think this is just in my head? You're the one living in a fantasy, acting like everything is fine, but it's not. Not anymore. The guests at the table shifted uncomfortably, unsure of how to react. Friends exchanged nervous glances, while Yandy's family tried to mediate, but the tension was thick and unbearable. This wasn't a simple lover's spat. It was a deep, painful betrayal being laid bare in front of everyone. The moment felt heavy with emotion as Yandy's eyes filled with tears, but she fought to stay strong. You're accusing me of something, but you're not even telling me what it is. What do you think I've done? She asked. Mendeecees threw his hands up in frustration. I don't need to spell it out for you. I'm talking about the texts, the phone calls, the way you've been acting like I don't matter. It's all right there, Yandy, and you've been hiding it from me. The words hung in the air like a dense fog. The room fell completely still, everyone frozen, unsure of how to move forward. Yandy's heart dropped. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. Her mind raced as she tried to figure out who he was talking about. Texts, phone calls, who was involved. Before she could say anything, Mendeecees stormed out of the room, slamming the door behind him. The guests sat in stunned silence. What had started as a simple dinner had now turned into a battleground. Yandy's world was crumbling before her eyes. Her own husband, the man she had built a life with, was accusing her of something she couldn't even comprehend. Something that felt like a betrayal she couldn't grasp. The betrayal wasn't just in what he thought she'd done, but in the trust that had been shattered in a single moment. The bond they once shared seemed to be unraveling right before her eyes. Did he just accuse you of cheating? One of Yandy's closest friends whispered, her voice trembling. Yandy could hardly process the question. I don't know, she whispered, back, barely audible. I don't know what he's talking about. Tears streamed down her face as the room buzzed with tension. Mendeecees' behavior was completely out of character. He had always been someone who maintained control and exercised restraint. So what had triggered his outburst? More importantly, what did this mean for their future? As Yandy sat there, struggling to process the enormity of the situation, she couldn't shake the nagging feeling that there was more to it than met the eye. Something had been building beneath the surface for months, something she hadn't seen or understood, and now the truth was emerging in the most painful way possible. But this was just the beginning. This wasn't merely a disagreement between a husband and wife. It was about family, loyalty, and long-hidden secrets. Mendeecees wasn't the only one harboring secrets, and the drama was only going to intensify in the days ahead. As rumors began to spread like wildfire, the public was split, and social media buzzed with speculation. Everyone seemed to have their own theories about what was really happening behind closed doors. Was Mendeecees just being paranoid, or was there truth to his accusations? As the days went by, more pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place. Yandy found herself obsessively digging into Mendeecees' accusations, desperate for any clue that might explain his behavior. What she uncovered would leave her questioning everything she thought she knew about her marriage. What was Mendeecees hiding? What was Yandy about to discover about the man she thought she knew? Stay tuned, because the truth was darker than anyone could have imagined. In the days that followed the explosive argument, Yandy was left feeling confused and in disbelief. Mendeecees had nearly disappeared, retreating into silence and leaving her to piece together the wreckage of their relationship. That night had marked a turning point, but it was only the start of a long, twisted journey filled with betrayal, secrets, and lies that would change their lives forever. Yandy tried to reach out to him, sending texts, leaving messages, and calling repeatedly, but there was no response. The silence between them grew more intense, and she couldn't understand why he was shutting her out. Had their argument escalated to a point of no return? Or was there something deeper going on that she hadn't yet seen? Yandy couldn't shake the feeling that Mendeecees wasn't just angry, he was hiding something. The divide between them seemed wider than ever before. What Yandy didn't know was that Mendy had already made up his mind. He wasn't going to let her get away with what he believed was her betrayal. As shocking as it might sound, Mendy wasn't just accusing her of infidelity. He believed Yandy had been playing a far more dangerous game. The texts, the phone calls, the late nights, it all added up in his mind. To him, it wasn't just a misunderstanding. It was a betrayal that ran deep. But Mendy wasn't the only one feeling hurt. The entire family was caught in the middle of the scandal. Yandy's mother, who had always been a strong supporter of their relationship, was the first to step in. Yandy's mother, trying to mediate the situation, was unable to mask the growing tension that had overtaken their household. No one knew exactly what was happening, but rumors were starting to spread. Friends, family, and even fans were beginning to take sides, and the drama was escalating. One afternoon, Yandy's mother sat her down, hoping to offer some calm advice, but her words only seemed to fuel the fire. "You need to talk to him, Yandy. You have to fix this before it gets worse," she urged, her voice filled with concern. "Whatever's going on, it's tearing him apart." The thought of losing Mendy crushed Yandy's heart, but she couldn't shake the unsettling feeling that there was something more to his accusations. Could he really think she was cheating? Could he truly believe she was hiding something? She had always been transparent with him, and the thought that he doubted her loyalty was devastating. "I don't know what to do, Mom," Yandy confessed, tears streaming down her face. "I've tried reaching out, but he won't talk to me. He's acting like I'm the villain. I can't make sense of any of this." Her mother sighed deeply, a look of sadness in her eyes. "I know, honey, but you have to understand, when someone's hurt, they don't always think rationally. Mendy's angry, and right now, he feels betrayed. You need to show him you're willing to fight for your relationship. But you also need to figure out what's really going on. This isn't just a simple argument anymore. It's about trust." Those words hit Yandy like a ton of bricks. Trust, the very foundation of everything they had built together, was crumbling before her eyes. But how could she repair something when she didn't even know what was broken? Meanwhile, Mendy was on his own path of discovery, one that would only make things worse. He obsessively scoured Yandy's phone records, text messages, and even her social media, looking for any evidence that would confirm his worst suspicions. Every late-night phone call, every message from a certain name, became another piece of the puzzle that convinced him of Yandy's betrayal. It didn't take long before he found what he was looking for: a series of messages between Yandy and one of her old friends, a man Mendy had always been suspicious of. At first, the messages seemed harmless, but as he dug deeper, he found flirtatious exchanges, inside jokes, and plans to meet up soon, all hidden in plain sight. He was crushed. His worst fears were confirmed. Yandy had been hiding something from him, and the trust he had in her felt shattered beyond repair. However, the twist was far from what Mendy had initially suspected. The messages between Yandy and her friend weren't about romance. They were about something far more dangerous. Yandy had been secretly meeting with her ex, someone Mendy had always avoided discussing, on business matters that involved their mutual interests. This betrayal was too much for him to bear. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video if you were shocked by the twists in this story. If you want to stay updated on all the latest drama, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next.